Hi everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Spirit has been guiding me for the last couple days, and I finally sat down and took the time to do a video for you. Spirit has been reminding me that with the election and the pandemic and everything that's going on that is seemingly negative, that it is the time to pray. It is the time to ask a higher power to step in and help relieve us of our anxiety and to lead us to the path of peace. But Spirit also is asking us, are we praying correctly? Are we asking for what we should be asking for? And I thought, well, if you want to use me to address this message, then let's go. So here I am, and we're going to talk about prayer. A lot of people pray in their head, even if it's just very quickly, which is totally fine. There are times, because I'm a sensitive person, if I hear people arguing, while I'm out walking or driving by and I hear yelling or whatever, I'll just say, God, please go to them and soften that energy, and I pray for peace for them very quickly in my head. When I hear sirens, because we live very close to a firehouse, I will say in my head or out loud, God, please go to whoever is in need. Be with the EMTs, be with the firemen, be with whoever they're going to rescue. So I do that a lot. I'm very aware of my surroundings, and so when I feel or hear or know something's going on around me that is negative, I will instantly pray, especially if somebody reaches out and says to me, could you pray for my family today? I do it right then, because as time goes on throughout my day, the last thing I want to do is forget. And I will also visualize white light around people. But the message the Spirit has for all of us is that when we pray for a specific thing, whether we're praying for an outcome, like we're going to use a house, if say you're buying a house, and you really, 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 really want that house, and you're praying, and you're praying, and you're praying, God, please, that's the house I want, that's the house I want. And when it doesn't happen, we are very upset. Some people will even get mad at God. And the message that I have learned from God, from the angels, is that when things don't work out the way we want them to, God is protecting us from something that is not for our highest good. Because as human beings, we do not know necessarily what is for our highest good, because we can't see the future. We can't predict necessarily what experiences we're going to have and who's going to come in and out of our lives. He could have been protecting you from horrible neighbors, which is why you didn't get that house. That's the thing, we don't know. And so, because we are not all psychic beings that can predict the future for our own lives, or anybody else's for that matter, that's when we have to surrender and let God make that decision. Make the angels make that decision. Which is so awesome, because then it relieves us of that worry and that fear of the outcome. It silences our ego, which always wants to know how and when and where and why. And a lot of times we're not gonna know. Either we're not gonna know, or we're not meant to know, because we have to go through experiences sometimes that are uncomfortable. And if God would have us know what's coming up and we're fearful of that, we're not going to get through it very easily. So when you do your prayers, this is what Spirit wants you to do. Spirit wants you to release that ego's need to satisfy and be justified for what you personally want. So we're going back to that house again. It's fine to have goals and set intentions. I highly recommend it. But when you're done with that, surrender and say, whatever's for my highest good. Because once again, how many times have you manifested something that you've really wanted? And once you were in the middle of it, once you had it, you realized it's not what you thought. You didn't know it was going to be this way. That has happened many times in my life, and I've seen it happen to a lot of people around me. So that is where we have to surrender and say, I would really like this or something close to that, but then whatever's for my highest good. So when we're going back to that, buying that house, it's just basically for you to get an idea of what you want, and not saying that that is going to be the exact house that you're going to have. So you want to say, okay, I love the fact that it had a beautiful open concept kitchen, that it had a driveway, and that the neighbors seemed to be respectful. A lot of times we don't know that till we're actually in that position. But that's one thing you can write on your intention list. I want a house that has really awesome neighbors. I want a house that is in a quiet area, or pick a city or a country or wherever you want to be. You can do that. Say, I'd like to be here, or I'd like to have this, or I'd like to have that. But it doesn't mean that you're going to have everything on your wish list, because it may not be for your highest good. We're not going to know that. So when I had somebody come to me right before the election, she said, I would really like to know who's going to win. Will Spirit tell you who's going to win? And I never really thought about that. I'm like, I never thought to ask them, because I don't need to know. I already relinquished my control and my ego, and I said, God, it's up to you. Whoever wins the election, this is up to you. God knows his life plan for us. We are not in control of that. Even though our ego would love to be in control of that, we have no control. So this woman broke down and was emotional, because I was like, I can't tell you. I don't know. And honestly, I didn't want to know, because of the fear and having that, oh my gosh, what are we going to do if this person is chosen or that person's chosen? And the ego gets really uproared and negative if it's not what we would want for ourselves. And that's where God is saying, what you want may not be good for everyone. What you want might not be what's in my greater plan. So when you pray, you want to ask God for whatever is for his people's highest good as a whole. Because whether we like it or not, we are all connected. We are all one. All of us. There is nothing that separates us from each other. And I know I had a conversation about this with one of my friends, and she was being funny about it. She's like, well, it doesn't matter if this person wins because I am him. So, me too. So we have to get back to knowing that as a whole, we are a collective whole of one consciousness. And if you're working on your spirituality, you'll understand that. You'll understand that God is within us. He's not above us. He's not below us. He's within us. And we have to tap into him and say, God, please help us manifest whatever is for our highest good. Because only you know. Only you know. Only you know if I'm going to be a good mom. Only you know if I'm going to be, a good dancer, if you choose that for your career. People lose their jobs all the time. And that sometimes is a push for God to God's pushing you to make a healthy and more necessary change that will fulfill your spirit more than where you are right now. So when you're praying, instead of saying, I really want this job, please help me get this job, say, God, if this is for my highest good, I would love to have that job. God, if this is for my highest good, I would love to live in that house. God, if this is for my highest good, if this is for the world's highest good, whoever you make president, I'm cool with. I will accept it because it was your choice. You already knew who was going to be in control of, the presidency. All of the aspects of our lives are out of our hands, except our actions, our behavior, what we do, how we act, how we react. That's it. And I've said it many times before. So when you pray, you want to pray for the highest good for yourself, for everyone that is around you, knowing that we are all one. And that might not sit well with you. So pray about it. Ask God to help you understand. Ask God to help you understand why you're late every day. Why so-and-so's late every day. Because everything is on divine timing. And I giggle because I used to be late all the time. And then I realized that I was manifesting myself being late because I was being forgetful, or I didn't get up early enough, or I would always blame it on the person that was driving slow in front of me. And that's when Spirit had told me that you have no idea why that person was put in front of you. There could be a child that is running out in the road, and that slow car pulled in front of you as an earth angel to protect you from hitting that child, and to protect that child from you hitting it. Or even just having a deer run into your car. You don't know. How many times have you thought about, you see an accident and you thought, oh my gosh, if I would have been 5 seconds earlier, that would have been me. There's always a reason why things happen the way they do. God is always there to protect you, just as the angels are. Some things are meant to happen into our lives because they're trying to wake us up, trying to have us make necessary changes, which is why things get uncomfortable. If you're inclined to do so, I highly recommend watching The Shift by Dr. Wayne Dyer on YouTube. It's free. And it will help you understand why negative situations happen, why things shift in your life. And with hindsight, we realize most of the time that it was the best thing that could have ever happened to us. So make sure you're praying for the highest good and let go of your ego's need to control the outcome, because it isn't up to us. And I hope that your day continues to be a great one. If you have any questions, you can always message me. And one of these days soon, I do have an angel story. I have a couple angel stories that I'd like to share. However, I listened to my divine guidance, and today they were like, you need to address prayer. You need to make sure that people are understanding that the way we pray is very important. And before I go, how many of you pray and ask and ask? Even showing gratitude is great. Thanking God for everything, all the blessings in your life is perfect. But how many of you actually sit and listen? Most people don't. They don't take the time. They pray. They say, okay, God, this is what I want. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do my wash. I'm going to do my laundry. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to go to bed. Where did you sit and listen? Where did you take that time to actually focus on what God is saying to you and answering your prayers? That can come in meditation. That can come during self-care, whether you're taking a bath, whether you're journaling, coloring, being creative. God answers us. He answers us through billboards and music on the radio. He answers us through license plates and numbers and birds, and things come through. You can overhear conversations and be like, oh my gosh, that was for me. I needed to hear that. Happens to me all the time. So please be mindful that God does answer you. You have to quiet your mind and be still and listen. And that's all I got. Like I said, I hope you continue to have a great day. Talk to you soon.